Cool, man.
Cool. We're ready. All right, boys. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. And like I said before, what better way to introduce yourselves, but like to tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, cool. So Ryan and
I'm Callum.
we actually began our friendship as housemates.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting facts off the bat.
Yeah. So
Couldn't live without each other.
Yeah.
began as housemates, evolved into friends, and then eventually convinced Callum to join the murky world of recruitment.
Yeah. What were you doing before?
I was a buyer's advocate, like property. So,
right.
Yeah, instead of, I guess,
Really?
finding a human being, I was finding a property. So very similar sort of process, I guess.
You,
Is it?
you always been recruiting?
Yeah. So
Well, in the industry?
yeah, for 10 years recruitment, but I think Cal got a bit starry-eyed. So my last role, in my last role, there was an incentive trip to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Really?
because my partner hadn't just started a new job, she was like, "Oh, you'll have to take a friend." And I was like, "What?" So I said, "Cal, we've got a free pass.
This is the last hurrah.
Puerto Rico," and he was like, "Are you kidding me?" So yeah, we got pretty well looked after, and I think Cal's like, "Oh yeah, recruitment. I could do this." So I've got a couple of
This is in Australia or back in
yeah,
the
in Australia, yeah.
Yeah.
So a few more drunk conversations, and then convinced Cal to leave the safe world of real estate to join recruitment, and then
It's not known for safety,
and then
is it really?
I mean, it couldn't have timed more perfectly. I mean, start
yeah.
COVID straight away.
So, yeah.
And a funny story, when Cal first came over, we all had to work from home. His first day, it was like, and I was just like, "Oh no, we're ruined, we're done." And like he just
This
so-
virus.
he was so stressed. He went to the fridge and got himself a bourbon out the fridge. And just started drinking.
It was a Monday afternoon. It was probably about 3:30, really.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was-
okay, so you were in the clear.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
sort of like twiddling our thumbs for about 6 hours. And then,
I was just like, "Oh, it's fucked, isn't
Yeah.
it? Oh god, we're done, aren't we?"
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was
Was this like 2020? Or the,
Yeah,
the start of
Like
2020?
March?
March
Oh,
2020.
when like
It
really
just-
hit the
Yeah,
fan.
really.
yeah. I
in
mean,
Australia,
we
it really hit
not
the
have
fan.
timed
Yeah.
it better. It was like
So
I remember-
and when did you guys officially launch per se?
so. I launched it about 8 months previously.
Oh wow! So
So-
you're already like a sort of I'm not gonna say like established business, but like you're at the point where you're like,
Ryan,
well,
had,
we've done
Ryan,
enough.
Ryan had runs on the board at that point, and he
So
was
we- so
probably
yeah,
ready
we-
to make a hire.
Yeah,
and-
so it was kind of
Yeah.
to the point where I was
And then
struggling
COVID
to
hit.
service. So Cal left his job, and then
Wow.
bang, straight with COVID, and yeah, I mean,
reality was, in my old job, it probably wouldn't have been any better. There was no,
Right.
it was
It
real
would have
estate.
happened anyways, right?
Exactly.
Just
There was
do it on your
no
own
open
terms, yeah.
homes. It was
That's
a
true,
similar
actually.
sort of feeling. So,
Yeah, cause I still remember going through leasing the place and then going through the live video and just asking the lady to open the cupboard.
It was,
and
yeah.
and then we got the place, but the first time we saw the place physically was
Mm.
when after we signed the lease.
yeah,
We
yeah,
went in there and it was perfect. Like it was great.
yeah,
So, can you imagine going the other way?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Like,
yeah.
It was a game changer for a lot of industry, but what was interesting as well is that didn't that kind of work in your advantage? Because all of a sudden, like, there's this void of talent in Australia, and from what it seems like, and then like, like there's like this massive need for digital, and I'm guessing that's a big part of your business as well, right?
yeah. I mean, we're across digital creative marketing, but I guess probably you expand the first few months. Like it was,
Yeah, it was a famine to a feast in some regards. Like we were probably, it was on a bit of a knife's edge, wasn't it, for a few months, and then kind of June, July rolled around. We got a couple of briefs come in, and that kept us hanging in there. And then once Cam started in November 2020,
Was he high number?
he was number 3. Steph started, I think, shortly after. Dave started, and it
yeah.
it
And
was
I
just
remember you guys were multiplying like
Yeah.
gremlins, it's just like
Yeah,
it was this.
yeah,
Is that
it's-
I remember I DM to Ryan one day. It's like, you launched your website, and I just reached out. I was like, man, really cool website.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for a job. It was just like really cool website. I was still freelancing.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's great. And then next time I refresh LinkedIn, there's like 5 of
Yeah,
you.
it's
And it's like,
Wow.
what's when?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a
There's
massive
a bit of a
growth.
purple patch, definitely, wasn't there? in
But it was
recruitment?
funny because we I think we joke that the Commons is like the Titanic, the
Yeah.
higher, the higher you go up, the more you made it. And for ages,
You
we
got the
were,
band playing on
Yeah.
the top.
we were the rats of like,
Yeah.
Which is Cam. It's Cam is a version
We
of
were like Jack down the bottom.
Yeah. we just take
Where's
that's
Rose?
how we all
Where's
start,
Rose?
actually.
Yeah.
We got the booth and we
Yeah.
just like we commandeered it for the day and we just like have us all round and
Yeah.
everyone was like going, well,
Did you
what?
ever get the steam card from anyone?
Oh, like
'Cause
there
you
was
were
there was
camping out
definitely
there?
like there was 5 of us at times like
Yeah.
hovering around a table and
Yeah.
people were a bit
That's
like,
good.
oh,
Yeah.
you know, you guys need an office now, sort of thing.
And then,
So-
and then
That's
I
so
think,
funny.
I think there was like 6 of us in Melbourne, and we took
In
a
that
lease.
booth, in one booth.
Yeah, but then we took a lease. We took a lease for a 4-person office. And we're like, why, well, this isn't practical.
Yeah.
But it's like we can't quite afford. Yeah, you've got to keep sensible.
Yeah.
So like even day 1 of our new office, which should be a nice feeling, was just grim. Like we were just in this little box, like having to walk outside every time you took a phone
It's like a
call.
glorified booth, right?
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
empty.
Just, yeah, you're in a phone booth, so
It's just a COVID spreader, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was just all locked in.
Didn't you
so-
guys get all sick as soon as everyone went into the
Yeah, we don't want
office?
to get that out, mate. We don't
Uh,
want people to
yeah.
know.
I mean, no, you. When I say you guys, I mean people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and what like a few weeks ago we've moved into an 8-person office and we're on the 2nd floor now, so
Nice.
yeah.
Sydney's got their own
You got
office.
the view.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, is that Surrey Hills?
Surrey Hills
You
there,
went
the
there,
Commons
right?
there.
That's
I
yeah.
went there.
that's
No,
a-
not to Surrey Hills. We were talking about that before. I went to George Street. But
Oh,
Surrey
okay.
Hills apparently is beautiful.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Surrey Hills is
Gotcha.
lovely. So we've got an office up there. Just hired a person in a girl.
Dakota.
Dakota, her name is. She's based in Gold Coast, and then we'll be looking
Nice.
to launch the UK office soon.
Nice.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, you're expanding globally now.
Wow,
Man.
I mean, we'll see.
Is,
Yeah.
does this mean that you're going back to the UK to kind of start?
Leading
the way?
I think we'll share the European summer.
European,
yeah.
Year on, year off.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
sounds
that's
very
good.
nice.
it's fun.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, Ali and I were talking to people in Mexico, potential clients,
Mm.
and then it's just hard to make it work.
Yeah,
Just like, how much work can we do? How much can they afford?
yeah.
Mm.
And then I was just saying to Ali the other day on message, I was like, maybe we just need people working in Mexico, so it can be affordable for everyone, but
Yeah,
also
yeah,
still
it's-
keep a business
Yeah.
because we really want to work with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
But-
want an excuse to go back to Mexico, don't you?
Yeah,
That's what
I
it's
gotta
all about.
I gotta keep my
Seduction.
Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting my Spanish.
Yeah.
Just
It
to
is
keep-
well. I mean, I guess it is nice to kind of think about like expanding to new markets, right? And you guys would know the UK market well, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
as well. So it kind of makes sense.
I think we're seeing it as an opportunity for Aussies going to UK, UK's
Okay.
moving to Aussie. I mean, they're the 2 very easy ones we can deal with straight away, and then actually build a market over there.
Yeah, right.
So
Maybe this is your chance to clean up the recruitment reputation industry in the UK. You know?
wow,
We're getting there, man. We gotta
It's-
talk about that, right?
Yeah, well, you can bring it up. Yeah, and this is like, maybe I can answer this because I've probably come into it. I think it gets a bit of a bad rep, and maybe it has improved a fair bit because it had to over the last sort of decade or longer. But
Yeah.
like it is.
I think it works.
It's a bit unfair. I think recruiters get slagged a bit. I'm not trying to defend them, but
No,
because
but-
they don't always do themselves favors.
Yeah.
But I think as an industry, I don't know. I feel like it has improved a lot.
Do you
Yeah.
think there's like a generalization as well? Like people put you in this spot, like this is a profile of a recruiter, without like actually realizing that you can't put everyone in the same bag.
Absolutely, there's good and bad.
There's good and bad in every industry.
Yeah,
and then in
Yeah, that's-
also defence, there's very questionable behaviour from candidates when it's
Yeah.
when there's
Yeah.
the power with the candidate, when there's
Yeah.
power with the client, there's questionable behaviour.
Yeah,
Like I think it
yeah.
ultimately comes down to who
Yeah.
has the upper hand in terms of leveraging the conversation. But you're right, there's good and bad in everything.
Yeah.
When you start a conversation with a client and it starts with, "Oh, I don't like recruiters," you go, "Well,
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, is that really how you're going to start this relationship?
Of course,
You're not really making me go, "Oh, let me work for you."
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's interesting.
but then I think
And what's the reason behind they don't like recruiters? What do they usually
because
say?
I think there's a general feeling that they're an evil necessity, you know.
Right.
Like there's you know we're only there to make money.
I mean, you have to get paid. Like you're doing a job, right? Like,
exactly.
But isn't that like two-way street relationship? Like both parties kind of benefit from the relationship anyway. Like, why would you be like, I don't want to work with recruiters? Like, if anything, you guys actually will help them a lot.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. I mean, a story that come back to often is when we started, we met a client who said, you know, you work for us, we're the person who pays the bills, and we stopped the meeting and said, well, actually, we work for the candidate and the client, 50-50, because without one, there's no, like, you know, and they just didn't accept that and said, we don't want to work with you. And then, you know, lo and behold, further down the track, it is a candidate, you know, so we've got to stick up for candidates. And as part of our service agreement with clients, we make clients sign a document that says, you know, we're going to have feedback to candidates within 2 weeks, within, you know, a certain period of time. And without that, like, candidates are sick of that sort of bad treatment. So we've got to hold clients accountable, just as you know, there's accountability for everyone.
No, that's good. Look, man, I've worked with really good recruiters and then really bad ones. Just, I'm sure they have stories about me as well. Like, you know, that Ollie guy, fucking, he can't speak English. He sucks. You know? Like, on to the next one. I don't know. You know,
this Mexican.
Maracas and
he's forgotten his Spanish. His English is average.
He says Mexican.
he's not working. He's just like playing
as much
maracas.
English as he can say.
And but yeah, it's like, excuse me. It's just making me cry, this story. It takes me back. What was I saying? Yeah, and then it's just like, you can't put everyone on the same back, right? And I think you and I have had experiences with recruiters. And some they get it, some they don't get it. And I always say to them, I don't mind if you're making a buck, because I know you have a living out of that.
Everyone appreciates
as long as
that.
we can agree on it. Like, don't tell me that there's no budget when you know that, like, there is. The same way I'm not going to tell you that this is my rate just for the sake of getting more money. And there's like sometimes once you build that relationship, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Once you build a relationship, then you're like talking like this. Like, I mean, you never gave me a job. So.
I think I approached you about a few, didn't I? You said no every time.
I think you're spot on, man. It's like, it's the relationship. Like, once I learned that working with a recruiter was not so much about the job that they were going to get me, but the relationship that I had with them, everything changed, because then I was thinking, well, you know, if they help me get the job and I get the gig and I stay at the gig because I like it, then they also benefit from that relationship. So it's like it's a win-win situation, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think as long as you find that person that is looking after you, and in reverse, you look after them in a way, then, you know, it just makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's a core of what we do. And I know it sounds cliche, but we actually care about the people we work with.
You have to, man. You're people's person. You know what I mean? You have to be.
Exactly. And I think we also try and just have a bit of fun with it as well. Nice. Like, because, like, there's a lot of, like, it's all seriousness, but it's not really that serious, is it? Like, we're finding creatives for agencies. Like, no one's going to die if we don't find.
You're not hiring for banks and
surgeons.
Maybe you are.
You know,
like, at the end of the day,
not nurses,
and that's kind of why we play in this field. Is
like
because
real professionals.
Actual surgeons.
Were you always like? Did you always knew you wanted to work with creatives?
I mean, so I when I started in recruitment, it was more IT focused and very, devs, and and it didn't necessarily connect with me because I didn't really understand what they were talking about. I genuinely I'd go into an interview and go, my first question, are you a front end or a back end developer? And it was like, now we know what I know now.
Full stack.
If they say both, it's like,
What's full stack mean?
But imagine, like, putting myself in their shoes of, like, some young English guy who has no idea what he's talking about. And I'm there in some oversized suit going, are you a front end or a back end developer? They're like, well, you don't know anything. So I cringe at those, but I don't know, like, account managers, they're just nice, easy going people. And that's why I think the industry is good, because there's a lot of creativity and there's a lot of fun. they just need to clean up their act in terms of actually looking after staff, because people don't study or go to award school to end up in some big corporate machine. They go there because they are fed up with the shit that goes with an agency, and you get to a certain point in life where you go, I'd rather just have stability and normality rather than this crazy wave of like up and down emotions. Like, you know, people just get over it, and I think unless there is some change, you know, there be less and less people getting into it. Maybe.
You were talking about like just going back to the point of building the relationship and kind of like having fun with it. Thanks, man. I really like that because it's like you have fun with it. You get to meet the candidate very well, even the clients. I'm guessing at some point. And then I'm sure that kind of makes the job of connecting the two easier, because then you can be like, oh, I got this Mexican guy. He's super relaxed. You know, this is his personality. You kind of sell the personality more than the skill.
100%.
I don't know. I'm kind of guessing what the role
no,
is.
that's 100% right. Like, you're trying to sell the candidate as much as trying to sell the business, and like there's certain candidates that you speak to that you're like, oh, I don't think they're going to work. They're a great candidate, but I don't think they're probably going to work with that business. You know,
say that to them?
Okay.
You don't say that to them, but you just know. Like, you just like,
Yeah, right.
and
It's just like how you would go. I'm sure there's people in your friendship circle that you go, that person would get on well with that person, but they wouldn't necessarily with another
I
person.
need to have friends, but
Yeah.
I just realized this is a terrible example. But
You want to become a recruiter, don't you?
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I just realized you like the version of Tinder. In the, in
Left
the,
and right.
Yeah. Like you're actually doing matches.
matching.
On a constant basis.
No, they're like matchmakers.
Yeah, matchmakers. Yeah. I love that, man. And
Like
that's
the old lady matching the couples.
Yeah.
The Indian couple.
Yeah.
It's very well known in that culture.
Yeah. But ultimately, like, I really love that concept of just knowing the client, knowing the candidate very well, and kind of knowing you guys know both very well, so you kind of make the decision. Yeah, this person will fit here perfectly. Yeah. Let's connect them. You know?
Do you guys get most of your leads through LinkedIn?
A large chunk.
Large chunk. Yeah.
So is it all organic, or do you like actually pay for it?
No, it's all organic. We don't pay.
Well, you pay your staff so they can reach out, right?
We don't pay staff.
I get with you.
You got us all wrong. It's all no. So we've actually just hired a marketing content specialist. Who started with us 3 weeks ago.
Smart move, mate.
Nice. Purely because we were pretty much a one-trick pony. Like, everything's going on LinkedIn. Then we've actually got some, I think, valuable insights that we can actually package up and put together through campaigns, emails, etc. So we're trying to take what we've got and actually put some sort of process and and be able to reach a more targeted approach.
So this is like educational content, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, an example would be sending out an email around how to actually onboard someone correctly, how to so basically being able to provide papers or documents for businesses to use as keep within their internal documents themselves.
Yeah, I cannot tell you the number of times I've gone to a gig. And I keep going talking about me, but it's just so many experiences.
But you've freelanced. Like, that is probably
just going in, and it's like, all right, here's a brief. I need access to Slack. Oh, okay, we'll sort it out. And then 4 hours go by.
Right.
You've been there before, man. It's like, I need. This is getting very technical, but I need fonts. Okay, we'll talk to someone. I need email. Okay, it's like, man, you're just wasting your
money. Exactly.
And everybody's time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, and then I will call you, or it's like, man, this is going on. You'll be like, oh fuck, okay.
Exactly.
It's just a horrible
So
process.
this is just amazing. Like, you guys doing something like that, because just I think you and I have the Notion page set up in a way that works for us. But if we wanted to bring someone, it'll be like, is it really there?
We've been in situations where like we've waited easily 4 days, right? And nothing happened. And they were like, oh, we need you ASAP, right? Like that's always the thing. We need to start on Monday. We're like, okay, we're ready, right? We start on Monday. By Thursday, maybe we get our email set up. And it's like
you're using your personal email this whole time.
It's like we feel bad because like like literally like they paying for our time and we're like sitting there and doing nothing,
exactly.
Yeah, and after experiencing this, like I started using my own software, my own licenses. I started adding that to the hourly rate, and then all of a sudden it's like increased by 30%.
Yeah.
So the same recruiter comes back to me a month later. It's like, what happened? I was like, well, remember last gig? So I'm using all my resources.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is not happening. Yeah. And sometimes I would thought it was unfair. But,
yeah. Is there anything like that, like aside from that, any other pain points that you like always see, like any patterns, like onboarding's a big one, but is there anything else that like
invoices?
Yeah, I mean the interview process is like very different for a lot of businesses. Like I feel like and you got to give I think some businesses credit, but like they're going in and they're like, oh, we need to hire this person, but they haven't actually thought about how they're going to execute and how they're going to get this person through the process in a nice I say nice, but a process that the candidate feels confident that they can get things right. So it's like the interview process, like give it some thought. What are you going to have you got the task ready to go? How many times are you going to interview them? Is the CEO or the GM or whoever wants to sign off on that hire actually ready to go? Or are they skiing in France?
Around agencies are so reactive. Like they'll be like, "We've just lost someone. We need," and you're like, "Okay, well, what do you need?"
Yeah,
and it's like you kind of almost have to just kind of accept that that's the way it is. But that doesn't say like we are trying to educate and advise on how to become better at the process. But it's the Wild West at times.
Yeah,
it really is. You just like because.
Well, how many times have you two been rang on a Friday morning because an agency needs a freelancer for Monday, and then you don't hear back until 5:30. I can do it.
But it's all it happened today, man. Like literally, it's like, oh, we need this job for yesterday, and then you're like, okay, you guys ready? Not really. And you're like, wait, like, how does this work? Yeah. But you're right, man. Like, I'm guessing, like at some point, there's only so much you can do as well. Like, you're obviously trying to educate your clients, but.
Yeah, and I guess that's again that conversation you have with clients where if a placement doesn't work out, we've got to look at why didn't it and what can we learn from it before we start going out and trying to find someone different. It doesn't happen very often, but inevitably in this market, people are going to take new jobs if they're not 100% sold on where they've gone. Yeah, and you're seeing people not even bothering to update their LinkedIn anymore. They just start a job, see how it goes, move on. And it's like, well, you never went in the office. There's no that emotional commitment. And it's just like close the laptop, move on to the next job. Yeah. So
when you share these kind of stories, or you can as well, on LinkedIn, sometimes it gets very specific. Like someone would know you're talking about them. Like I would know if you're talking about what's going on right now. How does that? Is there any backlash? And so tell us a good story about.
I mean, yes. In all honesty, we have had moments where a client has basically gone,
I share a little story?
Yes.
So early days, like I felt
don't name drop it.
No.
He crossed his arms here we go.
I think we're talking about like business problems and stuff like that, and I hope Ryan calls me out. But there was one example where Ryan was like,
"There's no budget for cutting things out."
And I 100% agree with what Ryan put up on LinkedIn, and I said, "Mate, I agree with you. We're on the same page, but can you just wait maybe a few weeks and like not go straight with it?" And and like we use LinkedIn to call out a few things that are completely wrong, like it needs to be said, but it's probably
some of the stuff that we witness is not ethical and it's not right and it's stuff like so I don't really have any qualms calling out unethical behavior, and if it offends someone for that reason, well, they're not our target audience anyway, and it almost just clears out the clutter.
Yeah, of course.
So I think I think sometimes people, when they're trying to do content, they're trying to be all things to everyone, and it just ends up just being quite bland and and because you don't want to offend anyone, or you don't want to, and it's just like it doesn't really get any cut through because everyone's like, well, that's just a vague comment. But maybe we go too far.
You've gotten emails from clients saying like, I think you're talking about me. I don't appreciate that.
Nah, we've never had that, have we? No.
No. We'll agree on no.
Yeah, we'll agree on that.
Well, but you've been genuine, and that's what matters the most. And clearly, you're doing something right there because, mate, like your industry, it's one of the most competitive out there. Like, there's a lot of recruitment agencies, and the fact that you're growing so big means that you're doing something right. So, whether it's by building the right relationships, educating people, telling the truth,
throwing parties.
Throwing parties.
Who came up with that idea?
All the ideas are Ryan's. That's it. They're all the marketing ideas are Ryan's. So I'm happy.
Anyone who doesn't know about your parties, 10-second pitch.
Oh, they're just good fun. I mean, there's zero recruitment chat. It's we get some loudspeakers, cam DJs for a few hours, and we get pissed. Like it's
but it's in the rooftop, which is pretty amazing setup.
Yeah. We're probably lucky on that front, aren't we? The Commons just built that for us.
And you get the
rooftop
sunset.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It works well for where we want to do it. It's more of just like kind of a thank you. Let's just have fun. Kind of thing. There's no, and that's kind of where we don't.
What's Cam's rate on the decks?
For you?
You hooked me up later.
Yeah. By the way, for those who are listening who don't know what the Commons is, it's a co-working space where we all work, and that's how we met actually. I think you two messaged each other from before the Commons.
Yeah, I think you had an OnlyFans account, and I was like,
do the bulldog.
Can you show me your armpit?
I thought we'd leave the
house. We cross paths, and as I was joking about before, we actually never worked together, but apparently.
But you've helped us out on the mentor program, like the mentor programs that we've done and stuff.
Like you guys, it all comes around.
Yeah,
man. Can we talk about that? I love the fact that you guys also doing that. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it kind of stemmed from having, particularly, I think when COVID first hit, senior creatives were really affected. Like, as in there was a lot of redundancies made at that, and you were having just these conversations with people that have been in secure employment for 15, 20 years. They've never had anything like this happen to them. And you could genuinely see there was a hit to their self-esteem. Like they were just like, so we thought, okay, why don't we connect you guys with juniors and, get something happening? Because, we were in a state where there was a lot of people that needed help.
Yeah.
But when you're limited on what you can help, when there's no jobs going, so you can obviously talk to people, but actually making proactive steps to getting them thinking and getting them helping again is a good way to get the bit of momentum going, and that's kind of what we did during those 3 months from March to June. It was like, all right, what can we do? Create webinars. Let's connect. Create.
Just throwing ideas out.
And it was kind of what we needed as internally. To keep us showing up each day, because there was nothing, like it was, you could just get down and sit in your pajamas and do nothing for 3 months. But it was like, well, we can just use this opportunity to develop a bit of a following, a bit of loyalty. Kind of when chips are down, we're going to show up and try and help people, and as a result, it's kind of helped us shape where we want our brand to be in terms of that, helping people and doing stuff. So, the mentor program is just one thing. We do, things like return to work parents, half price, because we saw there was there was concern. Well, it's ridiculous, but businesses were hesitant on hiring return to work parents, and because of they thought they wouldn't be able to do the job, in fact, 3 or 4 days a week. So we just said, look, half price across the board. And let's try and change the perception.
So parents get paid half? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and we make the other half. Yeah. They give us half their money.
Yeah, you gotta pay for those parties, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those speakers aren't paying for themselves.
That fee, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good program, man. It's really supporting that. And then you get candidates, and you just talk about them and the skill sets, and if anyone wants to, there's someone available here. Yeah. I think that's really valuable as well. Yeah. Because it's usually the other way around. Like, you either do self-promotion. So as a freelancer, you go out there and try to just keep banging on about how good you are. But when somebody else does it for you, that's really nice. Yeah.
And I think it's, we're leveraging our social audience. And if you're a candidate, particularly if you're new to the market, and we say, we're going to promote you across all our socials and get you out to as many people as possible. I mean, these posts generate interviews instantly.
Yeah.
Like I did a post about a South American candidate on Friday.
Yeah.
Within 15 minutes.
Is that Ali?
Or is it me?
He's like,
You told me.
I can't deny it.
You didn't tell me about this, right?
Yeah.
You should have told me.
We just sent your CV. Yeah. But we had an interview booked within 15 minutes. And
Wow.
like literally, someone reached out and went, like the sound of that person.
And once again, that's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Like client gets
Yeah.
someone, candidate's happy, and obviously, there's a little bit of self-indulgence in there, isn't there? So,
No, of course, man.
Do you think recruitment will be the same without social media?
We wouldn't. I mean, we would be a different business completely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess, why we've taken on a marketing and content specialist. We want to then, we can't just put all our eggs in the LinkedIn basket. We've got to start like looking at, what's next. How do we nurture the database? How do we do all the things that I have no idea how they do? But we put in someone to do that, which is for us a big move because up until now it's all been kind of just hiring sort of people, recruiters. But we just realised that we could grow a lot quicker. We've got someone doing this specifically,
Like full time.
That's awesome, man.
Building our brand, doing like updating the website, doing all the stuff that just kind of gets talked about that never actually gets done.
It'd be interesting to see your recruitment process for your own company. Or do
Yeah.
you outsource that to somebody?
Charlotte sorted that. So
Because we outsource some of the things that we do internally, like visual stuff. That we're visual people, and then it's assumed that we should do those things.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's no way we're gonna do that. You know? And we were talking about before off camera, like how Ali and our creative process is to disagree the whole time, and then one morning we just get up and then not in the same bed.
Somehow, somehow
We get up,
planets align.
Somehow
and
it's like, actually, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And it might have been like a full circle, but in your case, you have to recruit, but that's what you do for a living, and it's like an inception, I don't know.
yeah.
There's a few points on that though. Like we disagree sometimes, don't we? And then at the end of it, you come out as a business, you're like you're better at the end of it. Like
I mean, I'm the big 5 steps ahead, but I have no idea how we're going to get those 5 steps. And Cal will be like, okay, well, we need to do this, we need to do this and this, and I'm like,
okay.
So
That's great. You complement each other in that way.
Massively.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think without each other, like
we'd be
just
shot.
wouldn't it wouldn't work. Like, and I think
Wow. Okay.
if there was 2 of me, it'd be horrid.
Like,
it wouldn't be horrid.
Really too many British.
Need a Brit and Aussie to get together.
Yeah.
So
What's your deal with that? I said I was going to ask you about this.
yeah.
It was very noticeable. What?
I know where you're gonna go with this question.
It was very noticeable. Maybe like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like every recruiter that I met, or at least every other recruiter I met, it was British.
Yeah.
And nothing against them. Like, in fact, I worked with some of them like really for a long time.
Yeah.
But it was just noticeable, like all the time. I remember putting a post on LinkedIn when I think the UK lost a match for the World Cup, or was it the Euro, or some.
They lose a lot.
They lose a lot.
And then
Lost a
I
fine.
put up something about like I feel sorry about all the recruiters in my network, and that was it, And then like a stockable, and every British recruiter
Good.
got on board.
You got flooded with messages.
That's why you didn't get a job.
That's why you don't get briefed.
Ali is like, they got $10 an hour. Do you want to live it? No, it was like, I didn't get flooded, but it was like the people started commenting on it, and then all British and making fun of the fact that it was true. But I never understood like where is that coming? It's like every gardener is Mexican, like kind of, like everyone in the kitchen, everyone in the kitchen from Venezuela.
I wish I had an interesting answer, but it literally was one of, at the time when I came over, on the skill shortage. For some reason, there wasn't enough British recruiters in Australia. So it was like one of the few paths.
So they put it up there.
So you, as long as you could, if you had some form of sales background, or you were based, So there was this big boom of backpackers that came over here with limited skills, me being included.
Yeah, right.
Got a job at a call centre, someone would go, "You'd be good at recruitment," and then you go, "All right, cool," and then next thing you know, you're in an oversized suit asking if you're a front end or a back end developer. It's a shift. It's a shift.
No training.
That is quite a
Just
shift.
straight
actually.
From call centre to oversized suit, it can happen quite quickly. So there was apparently a shortage back in the day of that.
Right.
But now they've taken away the access to permanent residency through it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'll get people like Callum.
Aussies are back into it now.
Taking your job.
Exactly. Like free picking. They don't want to do it beforehand.
I do have a theory for this, and it's the fact that as an outsider, actually, mate, I think like you guys, I don't know whether it's the accent or just I don't know what it is, man, but like you're really good at sales, hey. Like just you every recruiter, like you know, like you that I've met and I work with, they happen to be from the UK, and I don't know, man. There's just a charm about it. Hey, so maybe you don't realize it, but that's what I think it is.
It's really hard to understand on the phone sometimes.
Maybe
Especially
that's what
when
it
you
is.
just landed in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, yep,
Yeah.
this guy sounds cool. Yeah, I'll take the job.
You actually won't get paid for this job.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Sweet. Sign me up. Yeah.
I think there's a hustle to, like, we've loosely had this conversation, like, but I think there's a bit of a hustle to, I don't know if it's still the case, but English people that were coming over, especially get the visa, they lost their job, they lose their visa, they need to make money to probably travel, live in Bondi because they're paying exorbitant rents. But yeah, there's a hustle to them, I think, that's for sure. So, and a work ethic. So, and especially,
I mean, when you're handcuffed by a visa, you'll do anything.
Yeah,
of course.
You literally,
Man, I got married for a visa. No.
we'll cut that bit.
But yeah, in short, there was a shortage.
No, it's good, man. Like I always have that question in the back of my head, like, you know, because I know I
You
joke.
could have just emailed me. If you,
Yeah.
you didn't need to do all this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
We need to
like?
create
Just
content.
call
We
me,
need to
text
create
me.
content.
Yeah.
This guy loses sleep over this, mate. Like almost every week, you're like, why is that? Why is that every recruiter that jumps on my LinkedIn feed is from the UK?
Yeah, and now I know.
Yeah.
So now I can go. We can wrap it up. No, no.
It's done.
And for you, Callum, like, you know, it's funny, like you were saying before, it was like thanks to that trip to Costa Rica that you
Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Puerto
it's
Rico.
It's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
How do you say Puerto Rico in Spanish?
I would say Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's how we say it.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
David.
Yeah, that was a nice and chilled.
Yeah.
I love it. It's that would you try recruitment otherwise? Do you reckon you would have be like, oh yeah, I'm keen to switch careers?
Maybe. I think, it probably wouldn't have firmly happened if Ryan wasn't there. Definitely not. Like, it's, you know, we spoke about it on that trip and how he wanted to do things a bit differently, and hopefully we can, you know, to a certain extent, still keep. Every recruiter says that, don't they? To do things a bit differently, but
I think you guys. Like,
it wouldn't. It definitely wouldn't have happened if Ryan wasn't there. I don't think.
Okay.
And you know, I think. You know,
would you open an office in Puerto Rico?
Mate, it's probably similar to Mexico, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
There's a huge market in South America, I do believe, actually.
Yeah, my
of
friend,
talent.
My friend runs a boutique hotel in Colombia. And it's just full of digital nomads.
Yeah.
I think now the visas are changing around the
Around
world.
the world, Bali and
That kind of
certain
opens up
parts.
the opportunity to you guys.
Yeah.
Bali is a big one.
Yeah. And I think, like, if even, you know, we've got clients who have got offices in the Philippines and stuff, like, you know, wages are rising there, and, you know, you never know. Like, I think there's an opportunity there in the future, but it's
I think and I just, like, we're definitely not perfect.
No,
I really don't want anyone to you know, because we there's probably candidates that have, you know, and not, you know, I just but I think we as a business try. And I think that's the key. Like we are trying to be a bit different. We're trying to do a little thing, but there's always going to be moments where we're not
drop the
perfect.
ball.
Of course,
But it's about, you know, I also don't think it's about throwing other recruiters under the bus, because I think actually most recruiters I've met are good solid people.
Yeah.
And I think that the nature of the job actually gives off a false, they're not great, but they're just, I think there's a lot, and I think definitely through COVID, a lot did show their true characters, and I think they're good people, the vast majority of them. And I've got some great relationships with recruiters. So
we had really great parties with recruitment agencies. You guys,
That's right.
the guys.
So
from,
what are you talking to other recruiters? Eh?
No.
That type of
This is
candidate.
before us. This is before
Oh,
us.
that type of candidate.
floats between the two. Who gets the better rate?
Jesus. Every time, man.
Yeah.
No, but no, seriously, guys. I think we can wrap it up there, man. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's been great having this
I was
chat. We can
expecting
talk
some food.
forever.
Well, the food is coming. The food is definitely coming.
I'm joking, mate.
I just want to take you home safely,
Yeah,
you know, because I know the drinks keep coming and.
Yeah, I'll be staying at yours. Before I go.
Leave the
Go
car.
back to the old days.
Yeah.
When you lived together.
Yeah. Exactly.
When